Hey, welcome to T4 Adventures. It's been a while since we posted, but we're back and we got a cool new surprise today. We have our wireless Apple CarPlay. We're going to hook it up to our 2023 Kawasaki Teryx4 SLE. Before we get into installing this wireless Apple CarPlay, I want to thank Kemimoto's for sponsoring this video today and sending me this amazing clamp for UTVs. This is going to allow us to mount on the bars, the row bar, our wireless CarPlay monitor. I did reach out to Kemimoto, telling them what the Apple CarPlay that I got, and do you have anything that will attach to the row bars? And they sent me this device here, and it matches up perfectly. Let me show you what we have here. So with the wireless Apple CarPlay, we have, this is the stand mount that we have that comes with the Apple CarPlay, and that is what attaches. So you see here, so I really wanted to be able to put this up on the roll cage bar up high instead of just in the dash, kind of in the way. So the issue I was finding with mounts was matching up this pattern. So Kemimoto has this clamp. It's for tablets, large iPhone, or large phones. So it has the same pattern and matches up very cleverly and well to the wireless Apple CarPlay. There we go. And it has ball and socket joint here, so you can swivel it around wherever you want. And this claw really clamps down and secures our Apple CarPlay to our side by side. So this also came with the Kemimoto clamp. So it's for tablets, large phones. So this clamp we're going to be able to use with our wireless CarPlay, Apple CarPlay. And then if we want to, we can take that off, put this on, use a tablet. And then I purchased a toggle switch. That's the wrong toggle switch. I gotta go find the right one. We got a new toggle switch. It's a backup camera because our wireless Apple CarPlay comes with a backup camera right there. All the wiring and the power cords, everything we need. So I think I'm going to mount the rear view camera right up here. Let me show you. I added this bar right here to attach my zombie light, and I think we're going to tap into that, maybe just right there in the center and just kind of pointing down. So I think that'll give us a nice clear view of everything, plus it'll kind of overlook this spare tire there as well. So we just got to run our cords. We got some plastic tubing here. I think we'll just attach into. Maybe we'll do something different. But basically we're going to run the cables for the rear view camera up through here. And I think we're going to mount the tablet right here. All right, so before we start installing this, I'm going to show you what else it's going to take to be able to run this wireless Apple CarPlay. It does power by a 12-volt outlet, or like the cigarette lighter outlet power. So we have one outlet here for an alternative power source, and I kind of need that for other devices. I've got the speaker that I need to power if I want to, which the wireless Apple CarPlay should sync up to. Now this little monitor does have speakers built into it, so you can utilize that if you want, but as you're going down the trail and the machine gets louder, you're not going to be able to hear. So it will sync up to this speaker if we want to do that. So the other thing I need to power is my rugged radios, two-way headsets, which I haven't featured yet on this channel. It'll be a future video. So I really need 3 power options well, not options. I got to have 3 power outlets. So I picked up this 150 amp or 30 amp 150 watt 3 12-volt outlet, and it's got power buttons for each socket and then extra charging ports, which makes it really nice. So, and then it'll tell us the wattage that we're using on here. So we'll just plug that in. Then we can plug in all 3 of our devices. So another thing to keep in mind is with this wireless Apple CarPlay, and probably with any system that you're going to use that comes with cameras, some come with the backup camera, which I have, and then another one has a camera built into the monitor for a forward-facing camera. Where we're going to place our monitor, the forward-facing camera wouldn't really do us any good, which is why I didn't go with that model, because I wanted mine kind of up high here. So with that in mind, the rear view camera, if you hook that into the system on the monitor, that's all you're going to see. It's a continuous power. You need something to break the power between the camera and your monitor. So you're going to need a toggle switch of some sort, or you can tap into the reverse. So that's a whole project in itself. So myself, I just rather have a toggle switch. There's 2 main reasons. It's easier just to flip on that switch, and I don't have to try to figure out how to hook it up to my reverse line and whatever and all that stuff. And there's going to be times where I may want that camera on and I'm not necessarily going backwards. So we got our toggle switch here, rear view camera. So that toggle switch will match up with all my other toggles. If you run out of room, you can pick up one of these from Deranged Auto. Very nice. You can add 5 extra toggles. I'm going to add my rear view camera right here. So we got to take this off. Take this face panel here off, and then we're going to have to tap into our fuse block. So we're going to have to take the hood and other, possibly these corner panels, off as well. Alright, so we got our dash faceplate off so we can see all our rocker switches, and we run all our wires back through the firewall here back to where our fuse block that we installed is. So this is the fuse block I installed for all my accessories. I tapped into the 12-volt outlet and ran my ground to here. So everything runs into this. Works great. But unfortunately, we have to take all this stuff off, and the bottom part of the windshield, which is pretty easy to reinstall. These corner panels here, so here's all the hardware to take all our corner panels and stuff off. So I highly suggest that you get a new box, a box of these, because these get real brittle and they break just about every time. So here's a whole box of them here. I'll leave a link in the description where you can pick up a box of those. Make sure you get a box of those before you start any of this, because those plastic tabs do break very easily. Alright, so we got everything ready to start running our wires and hooking the wires up. So here's where our wireless Apple CarPlay is going to go. We're using that awesome Kemimoto clamp. Man, that thing is a lifesaver to be able to put this wherever you want in here. And then our rear view camera wiring is going to come this way, and it has to plug into here, and then our power has to go to our switch, our rocker switch, which is going to go down here. Seems kind of complicated, huh? Well, hopefully this video helps. I've got a lot of practice with adding all these accessories in there and running the rocker switches. I'll leave a link up here to how to install your rocker switches and the accessories and the fuse block. So if you're interested in doing that, you can check out that video. But I think it's lunchtime. We're gonna take a break, eat some lunch, and then we're gonna get back and get all these wires wired up and rocker switches going, and then we'll test out the device and see what we have. All right, we got our camera mounted here right where we wanted it, and the wires are going to come back here. So you're going to see these RCA outlets that comes with all your wiring. So this one here is positive and negative. That's pretty self-explanatory. That's going to supply the power to your camera, and also this is what's going to connect your camera to your monitor. And you need a power line, so this green line is going to connect with the positive wires here from that one there. That green one's going to connect to the red, to the positive. And then you're going to need to get you your own rest of your power and negative cable here. That's where this big gust of wind passes here. This wind is causing me some issues today for sure. All right, so get you some of this. It's just I'll leave links in the description below. So all this I think I got on Amazon. This is your power supply wire, positive, negative. This is our sheathing to protect the wires. This is our wire connectors. You just splice them together and melt that with the lighter. Alright, so before you run your wire to your switch and get everything buttoned down, you want to make sure that you got everything, all the wires connected correctly. So what I've got here is I got my Anchor power bank here, and I had this little extra 12-volt outlet power supply thing in there laying around in the garage, and I just connected my wires, my positive, negative, the ones that I connected to the camera. And so I just cut enough of the wire that will run the full length of where I want to go. Before we run it all and button it in, we're going to test and make sure our camera is working. I'd hate to pull all this stuff out and do it again. All right, so we're just going to turn it on. We got the power running to the okay, so there's our camera. So this is going to act as our toggle switch. So I'm going to turn that power supply off. And so that's what we get right there. It will go back to your regularly scheduled programming. Okay, so now we know that we got all that wired correctly. Now we just have to run the wires. I'm going to try to get all three of those wires in that sheathing to kind of keep it clean. I want all three wires just to run into one sleeve and just give it a cleaner look, keep everything together. Now we're going to do that next, and then we're going to wire in our toggle switch, and we'll test everything out. Okay, wiring up your toggle switch for a rear view camera. So you're gonna have to do a negative line into here, two of them into there. It's gonna split two ways. One's gonna go to your device, and the other one's gonna go to the fuse block. Now on your positives, you already have two. This one here, that's doubled up, goes to that side, This one goes to your fuse block. This one that comes out by itself on the bottom goes to your device. So if you're going to be doing a lot of accessories on your side-by-side, you're going to have lots of wires. I would suggest getting a spool of red, a spool of black, and I got 50 feet, and it is 14 gauge. So that's not overly heavy duty, but pretty heavy duty. So this is how much I have left. And this is how many devices I have, plus over there. All right, we got everything wired up. So before we put everything back into place, we got to test and make sure everything's wired right, because all the movement and everything, we want to make sure none of the connection points came loose. So we got all the wires ran. It's going to come out of this one here for this toggle switch. All right, so let's turn it on. Oh, so we got our positive right here and a 10 amp fuse. Our negative goes right there. So that is going to be for the connection for our rear view camera. All right, power on. This is plugged in. All right, I had to disconnect the Bluetooth to be able to record with the phone here. All right, so our Apple CarPlay is on. We're turned on here, so let's flip our camera switch on. Now let's see if our camera comes on, and that's the back of our camera. Okay, everything looks good. Let's get all this put back together. We got everything put together. Let's test it out here. We're going to try to get the Bluetooth speaker going. Everything's synced up. We're going to turn on the Bluetooth speaker. Now we got it going through the Bluetooth speaker. Let's turn that down. Turn that down before we get copyrighted. Let's take a look up here. We have some popular apps right here on the left. So we have the Onyx Off-Road. We can click that. And now we have our maps. Got the touch screen. Very cool. Go back to apps. So you can do a split screen. And then more apps. So it's going to automatically bring in your road maps and things like that. It prioritizes your apps. You can probably go in there and do that yourself if you wanted to. I'm just getting this hooked up for the very first time, so I don't really know how to do all this just yet. But we should be able to make phone calls through here. I believe there's a mic, built-in mic on this thing. There is a power button up here. Let's we got our toggle switch for our camera. So there's our reverse camera. So we can just barely see the top of the spare tire back there. That's what I wanted. Now I think we'll be able to see pretty good when we're backing up. So here's our Bluetooth speaker from Kemimoto. And we have the power just going right here, plugged into our 3-way power bank there, plugged into there, and I can still run my rugged radio headsets, 2-way headsets, so that'll plug into there. You can also plug in USBs and charge phones. Very nice. Here's our rear view camera toggle. Very nice. All right, there you go. Our wireless Apple CarPlay put into our side-by-side, our 2023 Kawasaki Teryx4 SLE model. And we got the 9.3-inch screen, and I'll leave a link in the description box where I purchased. I think it was through Walmart.com. I want to say it was like $79. Fairly cheap. Comes with a reverse camera. It does have a FM tuner inside of it, so if you don't already have a stereo in your side-by-side, there is a FM tuner on this wireless Apple CarPlay. I have not messed around with it yet, but there's an FM tuner in there, so, and it does connect to our Kemimoto Bluetooth speaker back here. So very nice. Should make, when I'm doing my maps on the trails, I'll have a bigger screen and just make things a lot easier. Plus having that reverse camera was... I'd like to thank Kemimoto for making all this happen today with this video. Being able to set up our wireless Apple CarPlay. Thanks to them, I was able to get just the perfect clamp for this system. And man, does it work perfect. This is not going anywhere. If you need to outfit your side-by-side, Kemimoto has anything you can think of just about, and probably more. Alright, we'll see you on the trail soon. Have a good one.